Hello, hello, hello. We are live with Bitcoin Capitalists. This is like my second stream. I have no idea what I'm doing still. So it's a little humbling going from having a few 100,000 followers on Instagram and TikTok to like 4 followers on Kick and Twitch. So, but just like every platform, you got to pay your dues and start from scratch. And the more you do it, the better you're going to get. So I'm definitely like figuring out how to put the chat box in the right place, how to do work with OBS, all this stuff. And, it's going. I'm like, I don't even know. Bodrick says correctly join. All right. I guess that worked. So this chat we're going to call BUI, Bitcoin Universal to Road to 1 million. We're going to keep going until we hit 1 million. Then next stop, 10 million. So if you're new, Bitcoin Universal Income is the first Solana Layer 2 coin or token 2022 that gives Bitcoin rewards. How it works is there's a 5% buy and sell tax, transfer tax, that coins converted into SOL, which is converted into WBTC, which is wrapped Bitcoin. That tracks the price of Bitcoin. So hopefully I can get that working very shortly. Like we went live and the developers like, oh, we just need more volume. And then there's an error. It's like the code's perfect, but it's not working with Solana. Developer's a little arrogant. So I'm bringing another developer in. Hopefully we can get this fixed the next day or two. And once those airdrops start, I think this coin's just going to go ballistic because it has the Bitcoin aspect to it. We have great marketing, some great KOLs on Twitter we're going to use. And I have some marketing material just loaded and ready to go. I'm chomping at the bit to get this thing going. And I think we are already... Let's see where we're at right now. I wouldn't be surprised, if we're just tanking right now because the airdrop's not working. We're still at 118,000 market cap with 26,000 liquidity, which is pretty good considering our airdrop's not working on this deal. We got the GIF. We got our own website. Hold on. Don't show me this again. I understand. Bitcoin Universal Income website. You can get the code. Buy, sell tax, automatic WPTC distribution, daily rewards. How the rewards is gonna work is like obviously more volume, the more payouts. So like right now, I think it's gonna be like once every 24 hours as the volume picks up every 12 hours. And like you guys remember like this coin, right? Automatic treasury machine. Here. Oh, here we go. This thing blew up for a minute, and this paid USDC every like 10 minutes for holding it. So it was like you're just getting notification after notification, you were getting it. But like the problem is like it's cool and it's great marketing, but there's no reward for holding long term. So like, all right, someone's trading it, they're still getting USDC. I'd rather have, people that are going to trade for an hour and be out, they don't get the rewards. All the long-term holders get the rewards. That's why I like a once a day payout. So people are actually holding it, get it. The other good aspect of the tax is, there's a lot of people, a lot of money out there. And this is so small cap, coin. Like, some guy can come in with $10,000, $20,000, just dump it, try to get people to buy in, and then, rinse it and get out. Where he has way more risk now. He's going to pay 5% tax buy and 5% sell tax. So he's going to, pay the holders of the coin for, trying to rate it and, dump a bunch of money into it in a short period of time. So that's kind of the deal. So hopefully we can get this thing going. I got some great animation videos we're going to launch. And I think everyone's looking for a good coin. And I've heard about What's this new base coin? Maybe we gotta go to the top index. Here it is. Bases for everyone. Like this is like I just saw this in my feed, and my friend who's big in the meme coin sent me this earlier. 519,000 liquidity, 13 million market cap, basis for everyone. What does this do? It just says basis for everyone with a Twitter. Does it give rewards? I don't know. The problem, like investing in these coins, is you can fudge anything. You can buy a volume bot. The volume, I mean, 42,000 transactions, probably bullshit. Every number can be fudged on here. Let's look at their Twitter. See if... Oh. This is tied to a big company. Okay. Yeah, I don't know enough about it yet. I'm going to have to learn some more about it. And then there was another, what was it, like Rex? There was another token that I saw they were advertising on here that paid USDC. The problem when I looked at it, though, was the tax was 10%. So I just don't think that's going to work. I think that at 10%, it's just too high, and I don't even think all of it was being sent back to people. I think they were like using 5% for marketing, 5% rewards, and that's just too much. Like I don't think that's going to work. So spaces for everyone. How come there's two on here? Bases for everyone. And then there's another one down here. Maybe this is like the knockoff one. Hold on. I swear I just saw a second. Oh, here. Let's look at this one. I think this is just so complete. Someone just copied the coin. This one has 89,000 liquidity with 14 million market cap. Yeah, I think someone... Because when you're going on there, you hear about it, you don't have the contract address, so you're searching it, and then you see this one, and see they fudge the numbers already. Someone puts 80 grand in, and then those are transactions. And then some idiots are going to come in here, put it in the wrong one, and then like in a day, this thing's just going to rug. I mean, did this thing just launch? Huh. Yeah, I don't know. So, and the other thing is we are trying to get Bitcoin Universal Income out via our followers and fans. So like these KOLs, like this one KOL, she's got like 60,000 people on TikTok, no other social media, maybe a Telegram, and I'm like, oh, you want to get involved with this? And they're like, oh, $2,500 and 1% of the supply. And I'm like, this is just ridiculous. I was like, I don't even want to negotiate when you say shit like that. Would you know how many views I can buy? I can buy like 2.5 million views on WAP. The problem on WAP is though, like, you have to market your WAP. Like, if you're, some nobody and you come out here and you're like, oh, I want these, clips cut. Like, no one's going to do it unless you're offering like $1, $2, $3, 1,000 views. So you have to bring your own people in to clip and edit, and, you have to market your WAP. And I think TGR Trades has been so successful because he was like early on WAP, and he pays a lot of money. He's got a good digital product to sell, which is his trading course, which he can charge monthly. So whatever he's making, he's just dumping back into his WAP and building his brand, which is, is excellent. And for a while, I'm like, I thought and I'm like, this guy, I was beating him on social media, and then boom, out of nowhere, um, he was doing the clipping and just taking over. And I tried doing the clipping myself, like manually. I was like getting followers, making a Telegram, and I'm like, dude, going back and forth, paying people. I'm like, this is not efficient. So I thought they had hired like a big marketing agency, like what Luke Ballmer was doing, but no, he was using WAP. So I got lucky because WAP actually called me, um, reached out to me, and then we had a call, and I realized I'm like, oh, he's using WAP. So I'm like all in on WAP right now. I like all my links. If you go to my social media, like Instagram, TikTok, everything is going to WAP, because this is the way you do it. Because all right, say I make this video right here, this great video. The algorithm doesn't like it on my TikTok. I just spent $300 on this video, bombs. Now I have 100, 200 people reposting this video. Whatever, they're in different regions, algorithms, it goes viral. It just gives you so many more bullets to fire when you're operating. And I just think it's the future, because like even if you're just great at editing, everything, the person with 50 accounts is still going to beat you to your one account. It's just such a good marketing, but you have to have a good digital product to make the money, to pile the money back in. And like, what's a better digital product than the meme coin? Anything we can make, I can get rewards. I can dump that money back into the coin. So right now on WAP, this has 112 submissions. I'm paying 50 cents. Oh, you guys can't see my mouse, can you? I'm paying 50 cents per 1,000 views. And I've only got 34,000 views I paid out for. And if you can go click on content rewards and scroll down. So like right here in the middle, this is what's called, these are assets. So if you click on this, it has the meme coin videos you can repost. These are interview clips, but it's not like the best idea for the interview clips because they've already been posted, so the content's not original. So like the best way to do it is like we have a link to our YouTube video. You can download and clip it yourself. And what we're really trying to do is make these long form kicks, and you can clip directly from kick. You can make your 30-second clip from kick, put it into CapCut, and then you can upload it to social media, and then it's original content. You just add writing and some music, boom, we get some viral clips, and everyone's making money. For me, like doing the horizontal content's new, because like I've kind of been like dominating and doing just the vertical clips, like TikTok, Instagram. I've been doing well, and I've been slacking on YouTube or streaming, and I just see the way everything's going. Everything is going towards streaming right now. Like all the Aiden Raw, all these big guys, Speed, they're all streamers, because you're actually really getting to know your audience a lot more, because you're like live and you're talking to people for hours a day. I mean, these guys stream their whole lives, where there's only so much information you can convey via like a picture or like your 2-second videos. And for me, like, I mean, I'm posting mining videos and stuff. People don't know me at all, or like, what I'm about. So this is a better way to like talk long form with people and make some content. And what's cool is this, I'm streaming right now to Kick, Twitch, and YouTube. And then on YouTube, this just converts into a video, which counts towards, views and your monetization and everything like that. So this is all good. I just got to build up people, streaming. Starting from scratch always sucks, but hopefully I can convert some people over from other social media. The problem with that is most of the people are older on those. I would say people are older on Instagram, a little bit younger on TikTok. The streamers are completely it's an even younger generation. So there's not a lot of crossover. There's not a lot of people watching streams. So if you come down here on the WAP, you can see what other people have posted. I think this is like the best performing one so far. Crypto Clipper. Let's see if we can click on it. Oh, no. I don't want full screen. But yeah, those are the best ones. You can see right here, there's like interview clips. Let me see if I can get my mouse working on window capture. I'll have to figure out how to do that. My mouse isn't showing on the screen when I'm scrolling, which is like annoying. So what else can I talk about? Bitcoin Universal Income, Road to 1 million. Oh, and here's my YouTube channel. So if anyone's out there, come to the YouTube. And what's cool is after this live stream, it's gonna show up in my playlist right here, for everyone to see. And I kind of wish, like, I've done all this crazy traveling. Like, I have clips and experiences that are like way crazier than like Kurt's clips, which is the South African guy that goes around and hooks up with chicks in Latin America, all over, but based mostly Latin America. And man, I've had some, like, if I would have tied a camera to myself, I have some good stories and stuff. I don't know if I'd want all that stuff out there. But the other thing is, like, what people understand is, like, filming in public is a whole nother ball game. Like, doing a little clip like this, talking, you know, the privacy of your home's one thing. But, like, I'll make videos on the street. Like, I'll wait till, like, no one's there. Like, talking to public is like just a whole different ball game, and I'll do it when no one's there because, like, it takes me a couple takes and you just look so stupid doing it in public. I don't know how these, like, YouTube live streamers do it, where they're just walking with the yardstick, filming themselves in front of everyone, talking. You really have to have some big balls, especially that Kurt's guy. Just huge crowds, places where they want to see their camera, just, you know, doing it. Obviously, talking on camera and doing stuff like that is like a muscle. So you just get better and better over time. Like this is my first time doing this. Like, hey, you get better and better just like talking on camera. My first time talking on camera for TikTok, it was so bad. People were like messaging me in the comments like, blink twice if you're being held hostage, because I wasn't blinking. You just get better and better. And also, like, people are gonna make fun of you no matter what you do. So just do what you're gonna do, and no one's gonna be good when they start off at anything. It's thousands of hours, and then you can become an expert. Trial and error. And anything you start, it's gonna be frustrating, and you just get better and better. No one starts off like a genius, like just instantly get it. Very few people. So, and I just see streaming as the future, and everyone who's big right now. You look at Andrew Tate, you look at Togi, TGR Trades, Luke Ballmar. What are they doing? What's their strategy? Clipping. So Luke Ballmar he's not out posting all day, running on the rat cycle like I'm doing. I was like, hey, I'm posting 3 posts a day. I did get smart though. I got automated software that will repost on all my social media. So my 2 posts a day, it goes on every social media, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, everywhere. And what's crazy is a lot of big influencers and big companies don't know about this. It's a secret, and it's been such a tool. I've actually kept it to my chest. I've only told a couple people I like about this, and most people I've told, they just don't take, and they're influencers, they don't take action. Like, this one person's like, you know, they got 70,000 on Twitter, and like their whole career is like trying to be a Bitcoin influencer, and I'm like, yo, I ran to a conference, I'm like, you need this. They like signed up for it, but I never saw them implement it. And it is a little tricky because you have to configure, you know what? Oh, I don't think I'm logged in on this computer. If you're watching this, I'm going to give away my secret. It's repurpose.io. Hopefully I can sign in without giving you guys my password. Well, this software changed the game for me because, all right, say you came out with a great piece of content and, all right, I got to go repost this on Twitter, on whatever, redo, maybe copy paste the description. You got to repost it in 5 different places. And you're going to get lazy. You're not going to do that. Also, what's weird and crazy is like what might be a viral hit on TikTok will totally bomb on Instagram. You know, every platform's different. And I've had some things that have bombed on Instagram and TikTok and they go viral on YouTube Shorts. So you just don't know what's going to work where. And like this software, Repurpose.io, works perfectly. So like how it works is you connect all of your social media here and then you come to workflows. And in the workflows, you can say, hey, I want the original source to be my TikTok. And then that TikTok's going to go to Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, Pinterest, Snapchat, anywhere you want it. And it's one post goes, you know, absolutely everywhere. Obviously, like it works really well, actually. Like, to be honest with you, like every once in a while, the connection between the social media and your deal, you'll have to reconnect. You have to come in and log in your account and reset it. But that's like every, you know, once in a while. It's mostly working. Their customer service is excellent, and they charge. It's not cheap. It's like 2 something for the year, and this company's making a lot of money. So, but like, you have to have this. This is like the best freaking tool if you're into social media. So, that kind of changed the game for me. Now, you know, I just feel like I'm in this route wheel of like having to repost stuff all the time. And what I want to do is do more of like what Luke Ballmar's doing. Like, I just want to go make content, do interviews, and then have people clip that up. And I think I would be super dangerous if I can get this aspect figured out because I have the actually talent and editing and automation on my own to be viral where most of the people are either like a clipper or they're on one side. So I'm like, if I have that and I can get people clipping and stuff, I'll be like a triple threat. You'll just see, you know, my media coming from everywhere. And the one thing is like, I'm looking more for myself are like digital products because selling the mining equipment, ATMs and stuff, like these are big ticket items. Only a few people can buy that. Where like, hey, I want to sell, you know, a $20 course, sell a meme coin, you know, sell products that can go instantly that are $10-$20 and can be for everyone and not the very expensive $3,500 like ATM or mining machine. Also, like with selling the ATMs and mining machine, it's like 21 questions. You know, customers gonna ask a gazillion questions. There's a lot of back and forth. Like I'm looking for more instant sales. And I think that's why TGR is killing it because he's just selling his instant sale course, digital product. You know, not really any customer service. It's like, hey, this is what you're getting. That's the way to go. He's getting that internet money. Once you start getting that internet money, it can come very, very quickly. And, you know, before I was doing this, I was in one of the first Amazon drop shippers. I like invented Amazon drop shipping. I was doing it before drop shipping word existed. I used to call it retail arbitrage, and I stumbled into it, and at one point had 50,000 items on Amazon, and it was crazy because I was like making no money. I just knew that the internet was the future, and created a company website, was selling stuff, doing Google AdWords, SEO, just like. But I was getting like a couple orders a day, and then Amazon called one day, and they're like, "Hey, we saw that you tried selling on our thing. We came up with this new thing, Amazon Seller Central. We wanted you to give it a try." So we listed it, and it started getting sales instantly. So we listed everything at our company on there, started getting all these orders, started listing all of our vendors. And then I had a boiler room where we would have whole people just extracting information, raw data from websites, putting it in Excel, and then we were uploading it to Amazon. And this was the wild west of Amazon. There was no matching UPCs to put your product up. Like, I could just upload an Excel with any product I wanted with any part number, and it would be on Amazon in 20 minutes. Like, it was insane. It was the wild west. So I would flood Amazon with products. So if you wanted this like waste paper basket or whatever, I would just make 6 variations of it. And so if you searched it, like it was just all my products flooded all over Amazon. And then what I did, what no one else was doing, was I was doing ad campaigns, pay per clicks on Amazon, and most people didn't know you could even do that. And there was no, like, 90% of pay per click campaigns on Google lose money, and they charge a bunch of money. No one was doing it on Amazon, so I would go on there and I would make categories like paper baskets, put every paper basket in it, and then do 0.01, 0.02 cents a click. So my product would show up number 1, number 2 on the sponsor. People didn't even know like they were sponsored products, and then I get the orders for it. So then what happens? The algorithm goes, this product's being purchased a lot, and then it brings it to the front page. So all my products were coming to the front pages, even though like they were like the worst priced products. I was just making like 500, 600%, thousands percent on everything. And I was making so much money. Like, I obviously had issues with, I was selling so many other companies things, and a lot of them were industrial return products. I was making so much money, I would just eat returns. Like, I literally have a garage like from stuff from like returns of like life vests, like just all kinds of weird stuff that I thought was cool. I'm like, oh, we shouldn't throw this away. Just have collecting dust right now. So I ran that bit for a while, but it's crazy because it was just like I went from not making no money to like boom, it's like 6 figures a month. So I left that to get into Bitcoin. It was similar. I'm like, hey, Bitcoin's the future. This is going to be the new global world reserve currency. So I'm like, hey, I got to get into this, get my foot in the door. I started off with ATMs, then got into mining, now doing some meme coin digital stuff. But this is going to be the future, and unfortunately, a massive depression's coming. Not a recession, a depression. I think we're going to call it the Greatest Depression, because we've never had a world reserve currency as big as it is now. You look back, other reserve currencies were just like in their country or regions, like nothing's been ever as widely used as a dollar. So when it goes, I think like 80% of global trade is in the dollar. Can you imagine the currency that 80% of the countries are using for global trade goes bye-bye? It's going to be the dark ages. And a lot of people aren't going to make it financially, and you're going to see stuff that you couldn't imagine in the United States. You're going to see bread lines and stuff like that. And with global trade war erupting, right now is the perfect storm. We have double-digit inflation, trade war. This next recession is not going to be pretty. And why it's going to be a depression is on the last deal we had, last recession, the Great Recession, Russia turned to China. This is in WikiLeaks, and said, hey, let's dump all the U.S. treasuries and collapse the dollar. And China said no, because we're the biggest holders of all the debt. We're going to be the biggest losers because no one's going to buy it. We're going to lose our $1 trillion. So they said no. We are going after China with a vengeance on this trade war right now. We are in an indirect war with Russia right now, where, they're, what, 2 million people have died. No one even knows the real number. The next time this happens, the world's going to be in a whole different place than 2009. Not everyone's going to be on board with putting all this money and doing that. Things are going to break up. What my prediction is I think the European Union, my prediction is the European Union is the first to go. They have a economic union, but they don't have like a military union, government union. The European Union will collapse. They'll be the first domino to fall. And I think then the dollar will collapse, the yuan will collapse, the Japanese yen. And I think Bitcoin just goes to $1 million, and you're just going to have this short period of time, maybe long period, that's just insane financial chaos. And it's going to be very, very sad because, in the United States, it's all the baby boomers. People have worked their whole life. They have 401ks, their IRA, their house, and they think they got everything set, and we could just be completely wake up. It could be a financial 9/11, and their house is worth 60% less. The car market's collapsed. Like, look at subprime loans and autos. Like, there's a bubble in everything because of inflation. And I think when it collapses, it will be so painful and bad in such a short period of time that the government and people are going to be screaming at the government to do stuff. So they'll come in, lower rates, and print $20 trillion. And I think at that point, China says the dollar is going to be worthless. We got to worry about us. They abandon the dollar, so does Russia, so other countries. And that's when you get hyperinflation. And also, a lot of like inflation is psychological and is tied to goods. So you remember COVID? Well, that's when like inflation really started going, because like you go to the store and there was nothing for sale. Like, you wanted a refrigerator for your garage to help store stuff because you could only go to the grocery store once a month. What were the price of refrigerators? What were the price of toilet paper? What were the price of things when they weren't on the shelves? Because there was a lot of people with a lot of money chasing too few goods. And when China stopped shipping these items, say the trade war go, all right, you guys want to charge it? We'll use these domestic, ship to other countries. And the U.S. has to import from somewhere else or manufacture. The prices on this stuff could go crazy, and it could just go crazy because there's just a couple of these items and people are willing to pay, whatever. Like where I live in Orange County, like the average home price is 1.5 million. People can spend whatever they want on food and whatever, but not a lot of people can. So it's going to drive everything just insane. And I think gold and silver will skyrocket. The problem with gold and silver is they are the most manipulated asset on planet Earth. There's no free market, and that's why Bitcoin's superior to gold is there's no price discovery. The banks control the price. What is the price of gold right now? Let's look. It's like 3,200. But I mean, if you've been holding gold for a decade, you make a little bit of money. If you're holding Bitcoin, you're going to make a lot of money. You know what's crazy is NVIDIA right here. That is like the cornerstone of everyone's retirement. And no one's down 7%. Do you know how many people's billions in retirement money is just like evaporating? Wow. Oh, Dow's under 40,000. Wow. Where's commodities? Okay. Gold, 33, 54. So, it's just to be a calamity. So, like, Peter Schiff and Robert Kiyosaki, like, those guys are correct. But, we have a chatter. From Richard King, greetings. I think you're my first commenter. I think I've been talking to myself, but at least this will be on my YouTube channel for later. But like Peter Schiff and Robert Kiyosaki, like those guys are right, but the timeline's all off. Like Peter Schiff's been saying for a decade that the economy's going to collapse, and so has Kiyosaki, and it just hasn't happened. They're absolutely correct. One day it's going to happen, and their analysis of everything's spot on. But I think they just underestimated what the government would do, and I bought into that. I owned every gold and silver stock. I have this insane portfolio of gold and silver, and it's just when the silver short squeeze happened, the Wall Street bets, and everyone was doing options. I owned that, like a ton of that First Majestic. They just stopped people. They banned people from using leverage and trading options. They just stopped those stocks flat. How crazy is that? Like they literally came in and you couldn't trade options on First Majestic. They did the same thing on GameStop. And at that point, when they stopped people from trading options and using leverage on silver stocks, I realized the whole system was fixed. So I was like, Bitcoin's the only out. Like, gold price, silver price are manipulated. You literally can't trade options. Every time they just move the field goal, like I'm just being dumb and underestimating what the government's willing to do to stop this. So that's when I left gold and silver. I still kept my physical, but I liquidated all my stock portfolio and went all in on Bitcoin. And it was a good move because Bitcoin, has done very well. And then that's when I'm like, I got to get into Bitcoin related businesses because this is going to be the future. And, you know, unfortunately, I think sooner than later, this recession, depression's coming. And Bitcoin, gold, and silver are going to be just freaking absolutely king. And I think gold's going to be like $10,000 an ounce, silver's 500. And who knows, like if the price fixing breaks, then I think the gold and silver numbers can go even crazier. And how they manipulate gold is the COMEX market. So that is where it's traded. But like there's some crazy number out there. It's like for every ounce of gold, there's like 150 paper contracts. And it's even crazier on silver. So, and if you look when you do these COMEX contracts, in the small print, it says they have the ability to pay you back in dollars and paper money. So if the whole thing collapses, they're like, all right, this is what the price of gold is. You get that. They don't deliver the gold or silver. So you have to buy it physically and you have to have possession of it. Don't keep it at a bank safe either. And whatever your backup country is, like it's Panama or whatever, keep some gold and silver in that country because at one point you're not going to be able to travel with it. And that's why, Bitcoin is so good. But you don't want to have all your money in Bitcoin. Like I still have my physical gold and silver and you keep it in different countries and then you have your Bitcoin. And I think COVID accelerated all my thinking on that. I got me off my butt, got my, backup residencies, started, moving money around in case something happened. And the other thing is like everyone's so complacent right now. Like we've been in such a bull market that people forgot like things go down, right? Like real estate, people just think it goes up forever. Stocks, it goes up forever. The worst part right now is people have used the stock market as a savings device. It is an investment in future earnings of a company. You are taking a massive risk when you're investing in the stock market, but it's just gone up with inflation. People have taken all their money out of the bank account and put it into stocks because they're trying to beat inflation and keep up with the Joneses and all the expenses and all this stuff. So no one has any savings. All this money is in leveraged stocks, everything. So that's why Trump had to reverse into this 90-day pause because the economy is a giant bubble. Like we can't handle any outside influence. Like even I remember was it 2020 was trying to raise interest rates. The whole thing was collapsing. You can't raise interest rates on a bubble. You can't taper taper a Ponzi scheme, is what I heard from someone that was good. So, hard times are coming, and I just think you should be accumulating Bitcoin, gold, and silver just as much as you can right now. Keep it offline and get as much storage devices. I remember Elizabeth Warren was trying to ban them, or you're gonna have to register your like ledger and all that stuff. Just insane. And don't think the government won't do it. And I think people lack imagination. And there's so many have-nots out there that when the bubble pops, they're gonna have so much political willpower to go after people economically. It's not even gonna be funny. You're gonna have the biggest eat the rich movement you've ever seen in the United States. And, if you look at Trump, he's the epitome of opulence, capitalism, all that. And if this unfortunately blows up on his watch, which I think it probably will within the 4 years that he's the president, we are going to swing so hard left. It's not even funny. And I think we will literally get a socialist, communist, like a Bernie Sanders, or even like worse than that. And you're going to see an eat the rich movement. And I think the middle class is already so eviscerated and doing poorly that when they just get the shit kicked out of them in this next depression, and then the poor are just, you're going to have so many people with nothing to lose. They're going to be wanting to tax, go after everyone. And the rich are going to have a hard time getting their money out. They're going to nationalize stuff in this country. like you've never seen before, and it's gonna be the beginning of the end. And what's really beginning of the end is when you start seeing price controls, because then they're stopping the free market. And it's so easy for the populace to say, oh, we need price controls on oil or whatever, but then you're subsidizing it and then it just blows up down the road. It just never works. So a storm is brewing. It's coming sooner than later. Buy Bitcoin, gold, silver, and check out Bitcoin Universal Income. We're going to try to take this thing to 1 million market cap. And hopefully the fix on the airdrop is coming very shortly, and I will notify you guys. And I'm going to be trying to do like a stream every other day, get this thing built up, and we'll get some stuff pumping in the future. All right? You guys have a good night.